Fan Showdown, Season 4, Episode 7, the YouTube series where, well, we originally started trying to beat the A12X25, but now we're just trying to take down Nesto and his cheater. It's not an easy task, but today we have 4 new submissions from you out there that they're gonna try to do just that. Thank you to Micro Center for sponsoring today's video. Micro Center is one of the best places to shop for all your technology needs, and if you're like me, you might even live within driving distance to a Micro Center location. Having a Micro Center nearby has saved my bacon more than once, most notably that one time I fried my GPU while trying to build that custom shroud. Remember that? Yeah. Now, Micro Center is probably most well known for its PC hardware, but they also carry 3D printers. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know this until the last time I was walking through Micro Center looking for some PC cooling hardware and happened to notice all the filament and printers they had in stock. Micro Center is actually one of the only places you can find a wide selection of 3D printers and materials, but not everyone is easily able to drive to a Micro Center location, but that's not a problem. You can browse all of their parts online at microcenter.com, and if you prefer, you can even shop the Micro Center Amazon store to pick up all the filament you need. However, if you do have a Micro Center nearby, they are currently offering a $99 coupon towards an Ender 3D Pro. This is a no purchase necessary offer to new customers, in-store only. So if you're wanting to get into 3D printing, check out microcenter.com or head into one of your local stores today. And thank you again to Micro Center for sponsoring today's video. First up, we have Marcus and his fan, Spider. Now, at first glance, you might think, yeah, I don't really see anything special about this fan. It just kind of looks like a 5-bladed fan that you see all the time. However, from the side, you can see that the blade tips are extended upward in a peculiar fashion. Now that's because the Spider is actually a 2-part fan. You have the fan disc that we were talking about with the blades that point skyward, and then you have this other part, this other piece that goes on top of it that's more of like some stator vanes. Now the stators that you are probably most familiar with are the ones used in jet engines, at least I was. Normally they're placed inside the core of the jet engine behind the turbine blades, and essentially their job is to keep that airflow from spiraling around the core of the jet engine along its axis. Essentially, they take that airflow and they bring it back to parallel. And we've seen a lot of fans on the Fan Showdown kind of do something similar, specifically the cheater. The cheater has that rear section that kind of takes that spiraling airflow out of the exhaust, I guess you could say. It's really evident in the smoke test when we're watching the airflow through that fan. You can see that it's much tighter. It has really a lot less rotational turbulence. There's also plenty of consumer PC fans that have kind of a stator type section on the back of them. The one that comes to mind is like the Noctua NF-F12. Now, having a stator on the front side of the fan, that's a new one to me. I don't know exactly how that will help or hurt performance, but can't think of a better place to try it out than the Fan Showdown. Also, you'll notice that those goofy blades we were looking at earlier, when you put the stator on top, it starts to make sense. The shape of those blades sticking up corresponds to the shape cut into the stator vanes, which I thought was a nice little touch. Now, one thing I did notice about this setup was the blade tip clearance. It's very, very tight, which is great for efficiency. However, the blades themselves are pretty thin, so I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to be able to hold up when we get to testing it. We'll definitely know for sure when we take a listen to this fan, because if they touch, it's going to be pretty loud. Next up, we have Mike and his fan, Fanny Boy. The inspiration behind Fanny Boy was the GE90-115B, which is an engine that was produced by GE Aviation, and the engine has been in production since 1993, and they're still building them today. Now, the GE90 was created for the Boeing 777, and it was for some time the world's largest jet engine in existence until it was surpassed by the GE9X, which was actually developed from the GE90.
Do a barrel roll!
Also, I like this design because it reminds me of the jet engines that were on our aircraft when I was in the military. So I was a crew chief on the KC-135 at Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base, and the engines that we have on the KC-135 are the CFM56, or as we call them, the F108s. Although they're not the same exact engine as the GE90. The GE90 was developed from the CFM56, so it's kind of cool. And more importantly, any fan that looks like a jet engine, just better. From jets to cars, this next fan was created by Edvin. I'm so good with names. Edvin said that he's been watching the Fan Showdown for quite some time and decided it was finally time to throw his hat in the ring and send in a design of his own. And although he doesn't have a whole bunch of aerodynamics experience, he's a big F1 fan, and he decided to make a fan that was inspired by the front wing found on the F1 car. Now, I will admit, I am not an F1 fan. I don't really know much about it. I do know that show Drive to Survive is supposed to be pretty good, so maybe I'll check that out. But the one thing I do know is the aero on those cars is bananas. I mean, take the front wing that Edvin is talking about. When I think F1 front wing, in my mind, I kind of see the cars from the 1980s where you got car, boom, wing. Simple as that. But nowadays you got all kinds of crazy stuff. You have end plates, main planes, turning vanes, FIA controls, flaps, cascade uppers, end plates, and those are just the things that I remember from looking at a picture. There's probably tons of other stuff that I have no idea about. But I do know that if you're looking to make a fan that's highly efficient, looking to F1 is probably a good idea. Now this last one, this was a big boy. This was a multi-day print. We had some failures, but it still took a couple days to print out this fan. This is the Bladeless, and you're probably thinking, well, one, I definitely see blades, and two, how does this little tiny fan, this little 80mm fan, take days to print? Well, you're right. This little 80mm fan didn't really take days to print, but this is just a piece of an assembly that goes together to make something pretty unique. The second piece we need is this little housing here, which the fan goes into. This mounts onto the A12X25, the fan blade in the middle there, and then on top we have this thing, the body. Does it remind you of anything? Say Dyson Air Multiplier? The idea is pretty similar. The air comes up through the body and is deflected out the back, and as that air is pushed rearward, it pulls fresh air through the front and brings it along for the ride. And as soon as I seen this design, I knew I had to give it a shot. The problem I ran into is I tried to print it on my dual extruder printer. I figured that dissolvable material would have been perfect for this. However, that thing pooped its pants and I had a big failure. So I ended up printing it on the Prusa, which was not that bad. I was able to get in there, dig out all the material. It printed pretty well, and it's chunky beast. Now, I do think that this design has a lot of promise, especially in season 4 of the Fan Showdown, where airflow is like our main focus. It's all gonna come down to how well this little tiny 80mm fan pushes air through this thing. If it creates enough static pressure and enough airflow, we could see something great. I'm also interested to see what it sounds like. You would think, I mean, 80mm fan, you would think loud, but this thing may be quiet. I don't know. The Fanny Boy came in around 46.3 dBA. The airfoil came in around 50 dBA. The Spider came in around 77.6 dBA. And the Bladeless came in around 50.8 dBA. So first thing to note, the fear we had of the Spider touching the edge of the duct here came true. This thing is very loud, but most of that sound is coming from the blades touching the edge of this stator housing. It's probably going to hurt performance if I was to guess. We'll have to wait and see. Secondly, the Bladeless registered way louder than I thought. And honestly, even just sitting here listening to it run, it didn't sound like it was that loud. I even had to pull out the old yellow dB meter to just verify it. And yeah, this thing really did clock in that loud. Interesting. But does the airflow like we expect? Much to our satisfaction, the Bladeless does operate exactly how it was designed. However, the airflow is pretty slow. If I had to guess, I would say that the blades are what's to blame. The design of this is actually pretty solid, but these little fan blades don't really create that much airflow. I think it's because they're basically they're double stacked. They create a lot of turbulence when I put my hand next to it. Don't really feel a lot of airflow. I'd feel more just air moving kind of all over the place. So I definitely think that there is more performance to be had with some sort of fan redesign. The Bladeless produced 392 feet per minute of airflow. The Spider produced 503 feet per minute of airflow. The Fanny Boy produced 539 feet per minute of airflow. And the Aerofoil produced 518 feet per minute of airflow. Placing the Fanny Boy in first place, the Aerofoil in second, the Spider in third, and the Bladeless in fourth. Overall, they finished 13th, 15th, 17th, 24th. So, I guess for now, the Cheater's going to remain in first place. It's number 1 out of 28 fans tested this season. It was number 1 last season, and today it remains. I do believe, though, somebody out there can design something to take the Cheater down. And if you're interested in getting into the Fan Showdown, head down to the description below. There'll be links to everything you need to know. Essentially, go to my Thingiverse account to download the fan models or reference models, and then there's a drawing to show you the critical dimensions to make sure that your fans fit on the A12X25 frame. Then send me at least an STL file to thefanshowdown@gmail.com. We'll print it out, and we'll test it out. Till next time.